Hi everyone, it's Noel here from the Active Newcastle team for this week's Food Facts in Lesson 5, and today we are going to talk about fats and sugar. So I'll talk to you about sugars first, and more importantly I'll talk to you about free sugars, which are often referred to as containing empty calories. So the first question is, what are free sugars? So free sugars are any sugar that has been added in with food or drink. So these can be found in things like biscuits, chocolate, fizzy drinks, certain breakfast cereals, things like that. Also bear in mind, anything you add into your cereals or your teas or your coffees, they're classed as free sugars as well. It can also be classed as the sugars found in things like honey, syrups, smoothies and fruit juices. So that's worth knowing and bearing that in mind as well. What aren't free sugars? Well, that's the naturally occurring sugars that you would find in milk, fruit and vegetables. And for your daily calorie intake, you want no more than 5% to come from the free sugars. So what are the guidelines in the UK for sugar intake? Well, we'll go through that now. So for 4 to 6 year olds, it is no more than 19 grams a day, which is 5 sugar cubes or 5 teaspoons. For 7 to 10 year olds, it goes up to 24 grams, and that is 6 cubes of sugar. And for 10 plus, so anyone over the age of 10 is classed as an adult when it comes to UK sugar guidelines, that is 30 grams, and that is 7 cubes or teaspoons of sugar. And that's not a lot. And just to highlight this, a 2-finger Kit Kat has 4 cubes in it. A standard bowl of Cocoa Pops has 4 cubes in it. A 330ml bottle of Coke has 7 cubes in. Mars Bar has 8, as does a packet of Polos. And a 500ml bottle of Coke has, unlucky for some, 13 cubes. So it can be very easy to overconsume on our sugar content without actually knowing it. Moving on to fats now, there's a difference between fats and sugars, and that is we need a certain amount of fat in our diet, we need a certain amount of fat in our body for the body to function properly. Whereas we can survive without sugar in our food intake because we can break other food sources down to get that sugar. The problem with food or drinks high in fat is though they are referred to as being energy dense. And what this means is just a posh way of saying they are high in calories. So if you hear about high energy food or high energy drinks, it doesn't mean it's good for you, it means it's got a lot of calories in there. So maybe revise your thinking on that one. Just to highlight this, 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of carbohydrate only contains 4 and 1 gram of protein only contains 4. So if you're having a high calorie, high fat, high energy drink or food, it can be more than double the calories than it would have been if it was based on a carbohydrate or protein food or drink. So bear that in mind if we're watching the calorie intake. You might have heard there's good or bad fats out there, and that's true. The good fats are the unsaturated fats, and they can be split into poly and mono unsaturated fats. The polyunsaturated fats are good at bringing the bad cholesterol down, the LDL. The mono are good at maintaining your good cholesterol, which is your HDL, but also bringing that bad cholesterol, the LDL, down as well. These tend to be, the unsaturated fats tend to be liquid at room temperature or found in your oily fish like mackerels and things like that. Your bad fats, again, there's 2 types. They are the saturated fats, so things that tend to be more solid at room temperature, fats that tend to be more solid. And for your men, your upper guidelines is 30 grams a day, and for females you want no more than 20 grams a day. There's also trans fats that fall into this category, and these can be found in a lot of baked goods, so things like cookies, biscuits, cakes, things like that. Also in frozen pizzas and French fries and the likes, they will contain trans fats, which again fall into that bad category. In terms of weight loss, so if you were after a little bit weight loss, you wouldn't want to move all your bad fats and switch them for good fats, because remember, all fats contain 9 calories. So if you just had the same amount of fat and switch it to good, your calorie intake would still be the same. So it wouldn't actually help with weight loss. So the general guidance we would go for is reduce your overall fat content. So reduce the amount of calories coming into the body through fat, and then try and get the bulk of your fat sources from the good sources, from the poly and mono unsaturated. So it's good for our heart health and cholesterol levels and things like that. So I hope you found that useful. It was a quick guide there. So if you've got any more questions, add them in the comments and we'll be able to expand on it a little bit more. But I've just about got in under the 5 minutes there, so I'm going to cut off here, folks. Hope that was beneficial for you, and I'll see you all later. Cheers.